That's what the media does. It softens you to ideas. It doesn't report anything.
Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate.
The American Empire is back. We're done with this crap. People say lucky punch. There's no such thing as a lucky punch. It landed. The world is not a perfect place. And the fact that you don't have the mindset that you don't want to get out there and work is a you problem. If you're buying a house on a 20-year mortgage, how do you know what that area is going to be like in 20 years? There's small little beautiful villages in Kent now, which are being unloaded with unlimited illegal migrants. A little bit of trolling, a little bit of rage bait. Have men ever been happy? I'm a trier. You're refusing to try. Your entire worldview is so alien and foreign to me, I can't even see it. We don't speak the same language. You're telling me people are so desperate to cheat that you need a referee in a football game, and they're not going to be desperate to cheat in an election? AI is coming. People are going to start losing their jobs.
So let's talk a little bit about property for a minute. Appreciate you coming down. Last time you came on, I was very fat, and now I'm slim. And
well, congratulations.
That's a big part of that is because of you.
Oh, bro, thank you. How did I inspire you to do that? Tell me.
You know what's interesting? A lot of people would have said, "Oh, you're gonna fat shame me," and you're gonna. But actually, you were really cool. Yeah. You were kind to me. You never even mentioned it. But one of the things you did say to me is you said, if you woke up in my body within 6 to 12 months, you'd have your body again.
Yeah.
And I thought that's so interesting because that's what I say to people about wealth.
Yep.
I say, if I woke up broke, I'll be rich again.
Yep.
So I thought, it's not like this is just where I am. It's a case of this is what I'm continuing to eat. So, you inspired me. And then obviously, I don't know if you remember, but you was like WhatsApping me and telling me what to eat and black coffee and this, you know what I mean, which was helpful. And I lost 6 stone, had a fight. I've had a bunch of fights now, made hundreds of thousands of pounds fighting.
Wow. And,
I want to give you your flowers on that, man, because
bro, thank you.
That's, I feel a lot better for it. And
congratulations, sir.
Appreciate it. Had a bunch more kids.
Oh, congratulations. So you're doing all the right things. See, you meet me, I go to jail, and your life goes in the perfect trajectory. You're doing everything right.
I mean, you hurt my channel. You hurt my channel quite a lot. I have that effect. A lot of bad stuff over the channel. But no, it's really good to see you. And this is actually the 3rd time that we've sat down and made content together. So I appreciate it. I respect it. Because every time you come on my channel spikes massively, which results in business opportunities, revenue for me. So I owe you, man.
Oh,
and I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. That means a lot. And before we continue, I am actually very curious, weight loss wise, what worked for you? What was the things that worked? What are the things that didn't work? Like, what did you work out? Because I feel like the reason weight loss or staying in shape or fitness is such a complicated subject is different things work for completely different people.
For me, biggest thing, fighting. Having to get down to a weight for a cut. That's the biggest thing.
And what about like food? Is there any particular diet you were sticking to or anything where you're just watching what you're eating and training?
Just training, chicken, meat, protein, vegetables, and
so it's all a
black
choice.
Coffee.
So it's a choice.
Yeah.
So if someone's overweight, they chose to be overweight.
Yeah, of course.
If someone's broke, they chose to be broke.
Yeah, and I would have never have said that wasn't the case before.
Okay,
I would have.
But do we go a level deeper and say if someone's depressed, they choose to be depressed?
Maybe we do.
That's what I would say. I'm trying to see how extreme you would get with it because I believe everything in the world is a choice.
Yeah.
And people will argue with me when I say that. They say, no, I didn't choose to feel this way. And I'll argue back that believing everything is a choice empowers you to make the change. Trying to say that everything is not a choice removes your power and your authority and your responsibility and your capability. So when people sit and say, oh, no, I didn't choose this, well, then they can't choose to fix it.
Yeah.
Whereas if you accept that every single thing about you is a choice, then you get to choose to change it or not. So I think the most powerful thing you can do if you're a depressed or sad person is accept that you have chosen to be one and you can choose to stop being one. And that's the mindset which allows you to be most competitive in the world. So that's why I would say what I would say. I would say that all things are a choice.
Whether it's true or not, it's more empowering.
And then, okay, so you're right. So let's go deeper down the rabbit hole. What matters more? What is truth? Like, we can get very philosophical with this, but surely your mindset as a man, especially in the world today, should be the mindset which allows you to be most competitive and win.
Yeah.
Forget truth. If I believe the sky is green, but it doubles my net worth, I mean, is that true?
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's true. My net worth is doubled. You can say the sky is blue all day long. I'm saying it's green. My net worth is doubled because of it. I have the result, the tangible result of it. So what is truth? What even is true and false? All of history is a lie. Everything on the news is a lie. Everything they say about me is a lie. Like, what even is true and false? True and false is adopting the mindset or the strategies which allow you to compete and win. That's what's true.
Yeah.
It's like fighting, right? People say lucky punch. There's no such thing as a lucky punch. It landed, and you threw it. That's a punch. And that's a punch you've been training for. So I like what you said about it doesn't matter if it's true or not because it's empowering. I would argue that truth is empowering. What is true? Well, for me, what is true is what allows me to feel most powerful. That's what's true to me. Yeah. When I look at scenarios or situations, I sit and say, well, option A makes me feel weak and helpless, and option B makes me feel powerful, so I believe B to be true.
Yeah, right.
That's what I believe.
Yeah.
And that's where my whole worldview comes from.
Would you get flack from that? People get upset with you saying that?
All the time.
Right.
But those are people who have a different version of objective reality, and their reality is not geared towards competitiveness like mine is. The primary objective of my thoughts and feelings and reality is to win. Yeah. The only reason my brain activates is to win. It's not to feel happy. It's not on some garbage, endless quest for what might be true. It's to win all of the time. And if you're gonna be that way, you're gonna be prepared to come up with certain thought patterns or certain recognitions of how the matrix operates, of how this simulation plays out, which are perhaps very unpopular with other people. But I want to win. So, I mean, I'll say it now because it's my most famous saying, and I'll upset everybody. I say women can't drive. Everyone loses their mind. I've been in a car with women and they've crashed it every time they're crashing or they can't park. I know I'm not supposed to say it, but that's what I've seen. I can't win if I die, so I don't let women drive me. That's the bottom line of it. And you'll sit there and people will say, oh, but that's not true. Look at the insurance data. I don't care about the insurance data. I don't care what you show me. I don't care what bullshit numbers you pull out from the matrix. I have seen it with my eyes. And I believe I stand a better chance of living if I drive myself. That's just how it is. So I optimize for competitiveness and I optimize for performance in all things, which is very unpopular with a lot of people. Most people don't optimize for that. Most people optimize for the worst thing possible. Do you know what it is? You know the worst possible mindset you can try and optimize your life for? Go on. Happiness. Happiness is for women and children. You're allowed to be happy as a woman, and you're allowed to be happy as a kid. As a man, if you wake up and go, I want to be happy today, you're gonna do unimportant, narcissistic, hedonistic garbage. You're either gonna eat too much, drink too much, take drugs, sit around and play video games, smoke weed. You're not gonna achieve anything if you wanna be happy. It's ultimately temporary, and you sit there and go, I wanna be happy today, I want a happy day. You're not gonna achieve anything. As a man, 99% of the time, you're gonna be stressed or annoyed about something that's just happened, currently happening, or about to happen. That's life. We live constantly anxious. We have a lot of things to do.
Yeah.
And you either suffer the consequence of the stress it requires to be a somebody, or you suffer the consequence of having no stress because you're a fucking nobody and you work in Starbucks and then you're a no one. Yeah. There's no escape the eternal suffering of man. Women get to be happy. We build these huge empires so women can sit around and, sit with the baby and enjoy their lives. And we're happy to give it to them because we're nice. But happiness is for women and children. So many men say to me, oh, how I don't feel happy. I'm like, so? You think I'm happy? 7 criminal convictions. I got nearly $1 billion. I'm still stressed. I got criminal convictions, work to do. I was up at 6 a.m. I gotta go here, I gotta go there. I've got to train, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. At what point do you think you've earned the right to wake up as a man and feel happy? Have men ever been happy? Name a period in human history where men were happy. Because if I think back, they were all dying in ditches somewhere.
I guess it depends how you define happiness. I'm happy when I'm doing something, when I'm building something. That's when I'm happy.
You're content.
Yeah.
And you feel like you're achieving something.
Like today.
Which is the masculine imperative. But this is effectively work, right? Yeah. But if you wake up and say, no, I don't want to work, I just want to be happy.
No, I'd be miserable. Well, everybody would be. In fact, I retired at 25 and was miserable after 2 months.
No, winners would be miserable. But losers love it, and that's why they lose.
Okay.
Right? Okay. Losers say all the time, losers have this problem with temporary motivation. A loser will come and say, I really want to change my life. I can't live like this anymore. And they'll mean what they say for about 2 days. And then they're happy to go back to being a loser again. They really want it Monday to Friday, but on the weekend, they're happy to go back to how they were.
Yeah.
And that's why they never escape. They never get the terminal velocity required to break free from the atmosphere of mediocrity. So, yeah, I'm conditioned to win. Just like you said, you can't handle the idea of stagnation. You can't handle the idea of retirement. I'm the same. But I'm not gonna lie and pretend that mindset means I live stress-free. In fact, I would argue that I adopt endless stress all of the time because I'm looking for problems to solve, because I'm looking for money to make. I'm looking to win. Yeah. So there's a competition. Everything I want, someone else wants. I have to beat them.
What did you think of the, I don't know if you've seen it, Adolescence? Because I watched Adolescence, and it's interesting because You even got a mention in it. I don't know if you knew that, but they actually mentioned you by name.
I don't watch psyop garbage slop from The Matrix. Because Adolescence, actually, the only thing that upset me about Adolescence is a guy who I actually quite liked from Top Boy sold out to get the job, Asher D, with his very...
Why did he do that? Why do you reckon he did that?
Well, he has a very colorful criminal past. He's been convicted of, firearms offenses and went to jail. I have no convictions in the world. So you'd like to think that he knows a little bit better about the world and how things work and that no men are actually perfect. And understanding that I haven't been convicted, a lot of this is media smear. I'm sure he's smart enough to know this. But he also needs to keep his job and needs to get acting jobs. This is why people sell their soul. I was offered to sell my soul. There's a famous story. I was offered $50 million in a sponsorship contract to shut up, and I didn't. So he needs the job, and he gets to be in adolescence. He gets to be paid. He has a family to feed.
I'm not even number one rated right now.
Well, yeah, I'm not even mad at the guy, but he did sell out. He did sell out. He sold me out. I don't know him, but he knows what he was saying about me is a lie. But he needs the money. That's his problem. That's his conscience. As for the show Adolescence, that's a psyop. And the reason it's a psyop is because masculinity is directly under attack, because it's masculinity that's going to resist the enslavement that's coming from the United Kingdom and most of the Western world. Let's actually cut the bullshit for 5 seconds. People are dying in England, and the reason the streets are not safe for men or women in England, the reason there is stabbing in England, the reason there are watches being stolen in England, the reason London's a shithole is because of migration. That's the bottom line. So what do? They come and say, oh, look at this little white boy. This little white native English kid who's a problem because Andrew Tate highlights the real issue. They don't want to fix the issue. They want to assassinate the man who highlights the issue. That's what they want to do. They don't want to fix the symptoms of the disease. They want to kill the doctor for telling everyone there's a cancer. They want to get rid of me, because I make it very clear. If you look up any of the people who have been stabbing and killing below the age of 15, they're either brown like me or black. I'm not racist, I'm brown. I'm saying look at the skin color. They find the whitest kid in the world and put him on Adolescence, and then blame me and his white father. This doesn't happen. This is a psyop. It is a deliberate psyop. Since when does a Netflix show get the prime minister and the parliament and the whole matrix system behind it trying to push it out there to everybody? Why? Because they're going to try and convince the people at home that the native people of the UK, the people who have a right to their land, the people whose grandfathers died in a ditch to protect that land, they're going to try and convince you that you are the problem, while opening up the border to people from God knows where with no passports, from war zones, who turn up with criminal intent. And they're going to try and say they're not the problem, you are. We need more migration. They want to replace every single white British person with someone from God knows where. It's no longer England then. And to do this is part of it. If you mention these things, like I am doing right now, you will catch a criminal conviction. They will put you in jail. What I am saying now is a criminal case. And I know it. And they can't stand that I don't give a fuck. Add it to the list of criminal convictions. Put me back in jail. I don't care. Because they're trying to scare everyone into not pointing out the pertinently obvious. Everybody knows what I'm saying is true. Everybody knows that's a psyop. Asher D knew it was a fucking psyop. Everyone knows it's a psyop. But people just shut up to pay their bills and think, maybe it'll be okay in the end.
The acting was okay, but it was very, very boring. And I'm wondering, how is it #1 trending on Netflix?
Because,
does it make sense?
because The Matrix pushes these things to the top. It's like celebrities. None of these celebrities, and no one gives a shit about these people. Let me give you an example. Michelle Obama just launched a podcast. I thought Michelle Obama was loved. Didn't you? Everyone loves Michelle Obama. She's Michelle Obama. She's great. She launches a podcast. Now Trump has won. The Matrix is not broken. It's cracked. It's damaged, but we haven't won. She launches a podcast on YouTube. No one watches it. She gets like 10,000 views. I thought Michelle Obama was loved. No, The Matrix pushes her to the front, pushes her to the top, tries to convince you she's loved. That's what they do. They look at things and they choose the narrative. If you say things they don't like me, they ban you. If you say things they do like, they push you to the top. If I was pro-transsexual and pro-immigration and all these crazy things, I'd be the most popular person in the world. They'd put me everywhere. So they deliberately rig the algorithm to try and convince everybody that this show is worth watching, because there's a big problem in the UK. There's a huge problem in the UK with young white boys walking around with knives stabbing each other. I'm sure you've seen it. It's young white kids. It's all the young white kids in London stabbing each other. You've seen that, right?
I mean, I live in Beaconsfield, so I don't see stabbings.
I'm half black, half white. This is just obvious. It's not about being racist. It's about sitting and saying, okay, there is a problem with the black youth in London. Most black people will admit that.